more assertive out there in the early going so far, and we're excited for him moving forward. And it's Nick Roberto's had a good career so far, and Tommy Kelly and Dylan Lawrence give us depth. So it's nice to have a junior class also that you think can contribute.
And 3 sophomore forwards, beginning with A.J. Greer, and certainly have noticed the 36th pick, second rounder in the NHL draft. I believe the youngest forward in college hockey last season, really came on as the season went on. Olsen, who also unfortunately missed some time because of some physical issues, but he was a presence. And Chase Phelps, who was pretty steady in the lineup, came in and came out.
Yeah, it's funny, when a season starts, everybody wants to talk about the freshmen. Everybody wants to talk about the incoming freshmen. Everyone's in love with them. They're the greatest thing since sliced bread. But we are only going to be – our success is going to be tied to our returning players. And Nick Olsen and Chase Phelps and, A.J. Greer, they have to be better sophomores. They've got to make the jump. They've got to do – hopefully some of them can do what Ati Oxenden did between his sophomore and junior year and, go from 7 goals to 25 goals. Obviously, part of that reason was he was up front. But, you need somebody to make that type of jump. And we think all 3 of those guys are capable of making significant improvements, not only, night in, night out, doing the little things that it takes, but also from an offensive standpoint. And, they're going to have plenty of opportunity to do that.
The returnees up front, there are 11 in total. Now looking at the D-Corps, and it is a D-Corps intact, very unusual for any college hockey team to have a complete unit, but you will have that opportunity this season. Beginning with Captain Matt Grizzlick, maybe Matt would want to play hockey a little bit closer to home, maybe move it over to Causeway Street, but he is going to be back. Hopefully, Lightning, a 2-year captain on the D-Corps from Charlestown. He won a national championship. Jack O'Callahan was a 2-year captain. And he'll be back for his senior year. Has a physical issue that is now being monitored and has been rehabbing from surgery. And what about the prognosis with him right now to get started?
Well, he's been skating in every practice that we've had. He's been, I think he's ahead of schedule. That being said, we're going to be very cautious with him. When they tell us that he's 100%, he's ready to go, we're probably going to hold him out a little bit longer because when he does come back, I don't want him looking back. I want him to be completely mentally that he's 100% ready, and we're going to err on the side of caution without question. But, the fact that he's back is a huge, huge plus for us. I thought by the end of the year last year, he was the best defenseman in college hockey. And to have a guy like that come back, not only for what he brings to the table on the ice, but what he does for us off the ice, is invaluable.
Matt Grizzlick, the lone senior defenseman. You also have a junior defenseman, upperclassman with Doyle Summerby, certainly a physical presence on the blue line for you, and a guy that I know you'll have high expectations for this season.
It's so fun watching a guy like Doyle develop. He's come such a long way in a short period of time, and a true leader. I mean, on top of our great senior class, Doyle is a leader in every step of the way. I mean, he's got a presence about him. He certainly is a guy that leads by example, takes a lot of the freshmen under his wing and shows them how to train properly. And whenever he's doing something extra, he's having the freshmen and showing them how to better themselves, not only on the ice but off the ice. And he had a great year last year. He had a little bit of a lull in the middle of the year, but boy, he was instrumental in our success in the playoffs. He played his best hockey in the months of March and April, and we're really counting on him heavily this year.
One of the truly amazing aspects, I must say, veteran observer of college hockey, I'm sure many would agree, is the fact that you accomplished the type of turnaround you did last year with essentially 4 freshman defensemen. I have all their albums, by the way, the 4 freshmen. And they certainly were a huge impact in the success of the program. And the good news is they all played a full season of college hockey. You know what it's like to be a defenseman and come in and play as a freshman in college hockey. They're all back as sophomores, and I know that's something that's making you very happy coming into this season with that whole group.
Everybody talked about Jack and our offense and our first line last year, but, I mean, the key to our team last year was our defensive core. And, I get asked a question at Hockey's Media Day, it's going to be a different team for you this year. You lost some offensive firepower up front, and you're probably going to have to rely on your defense to generate some offense. I said, well, we did that last year. I mean, one of the reasons we were able to establish the offensive zone as often as we did, and to cleanly come out of our own end and create some transition was because of our defense. I mean, we didn't spend a lot of time out of our end because we could come out of our zone so cleanly. When you're able to give the puck to your defenseman and they're able to make stick-to-stick passes and, attack with speed, it certainly puts the other team on their heels. And, our philosophy and our approach is going to be no different this year. Our offense is going to come from our depth up front, and we got a lot of good forwards, but our defense are going to be instrumental in creating offense.
And the two Brandons, Brandon Hickey and Brandon Fortunato, joined by John McLeod and Brian Diffley. Thought it was interesting just to note, if anybody missed it with Brandon Hickey, you talk about making himself the poster child for a college education and college hockey. His commentary over the offseason, I thought, was exemplary in the experience he had last year and the experience he's looking forward to in coming years.
I didn't see what his comments were, but I'm assuming they were good.
I'll have you call Nate Yule at College Hockey Inc. They're posted up in the office with what he said about what a great experience. And they asked him about turning pro, and he said, "I got plenty of time for that. I'm very happy where I am." And also, almost, and from your experience with USA Hockey and what happens north of the border, pretty close to unprecedented for him to be invited to the Canadian junior camp. It was like they just had to do it.
Well, not only did he get invited, I mean, without question, 5 players that in Canada. I'll be shocked if he doesn't make Canada's World Junior team. And he told a great story when he came back. He was the only college player invited to the 5th exhibition game. All the major junior kids were talking about how fast the game was, and he stood up in the middle of the locker room. This was a bad college game. I don't know what type of hockey you guys. So he put them all right back in their place. I'll tell you that.
He'll have a job at College Hockey. The new executive director. That's very nice to hear. The 4 freshman defensemen, 6 in all, return on the blue line intact. And now we go to the goal. Matt O'Connor, you knew at the beginning of the year that Matt O'Connor's plan was to leave. He got his 4-year degree. Speaking of college hockey and college, people may or may not know he got a 4-year degree in 3 years, I believe, in international relations, and moved on with Ottawa. And the good news is that Sean as part of the program this season, and I know a lot of the fans are interested to see what his status is and for him right now.
Well, he looks great. I mean, obviously last year was a tough year for him. It was